When I started this challenge back in February, I fully thought I was going to finish spinning everything in 1 month. But as you'll soon see, that is not exactly how things go. The fiber I'm using is a countdown calendar from The Little Wolf Knits, and the theme is how to lose a guy in 10 days. Absolutely perfect for February, and one of my favorite movies ever. Each day I'm opening about an ounce of fiber and attempting to spin half of it for my first single. My end goal is a 2-ply fractal, but I'll talk more about that in just a little bit. This is a combo spin, meaning we'll rotate through different fibers: Falkland, Targhee, Rambouillet, and Merino. As a newer spinner, this was really awesome to get to practice honing my skills for different fibers. The way I film this vlog is to be intentionally slow and chill with a little bit of background noise and a lot of music, and occasionally I will come in and share some things. So hopefully you can put this on, sit back and relax, maybe even listen to it while you're working on your Tour de Fleece spinning. Conveniently, February 1st and 2nd are a weekend, which means I get a little extra time to sort of figure out where does this spinning fit into my daily routine. So right now I'm imagining that I will do my spinning on my lunch break, and then if I need to do any later in the day, I can do that then. But I'm curious today as to how long it's actually going to take me to spin a ½ ounce. Another super convenient piece is that an audiobook that I have been waiting on, that is our Love & Stitches membership book club for this month, just became available for me to download. So I'm going to get my table set up, I'm going to get the audiobook downloaded, and I am just going to spin away until I'm finished with this ½ ounce, hopefully in one sitting. About an hour, it seems, that it will take me each day to do this, which is not bad. My ring told me that I need to get up and stretch my legs, so I'm gonna go do that, and I'll see you tomorrow. It is day 5 and we have made it back to Falkland, which makes me think that we have probably made it through the 4 fibers that are part of this combo spin. I switched out my bobbin, by the way. This one is super full. These little guys hold about 2 ounces, which is perfect because I've spun a ½ ounce a day. So far, the fibers that we have gone through are Falkland, Rambouillet, Targhee, and Merino. So having experienced these fibers back to back to back, I feel like I now have a better understanding of like what I like about each of them. Something I had no idea would happen when learning to spin is that every fiber spins differently, just like every yarn is different. I didn't even know to expect that I would have any kind of preferences towards the different fibers. So take these with a grain of salt because these are just an opinion on what I'm enjoying so far. Number 1 for me is Rambouillet. It's so bouncy and squishy. Just something about it makes it really fun to spin. And it's not too difficult to spin either. All of the fibers really stay together nicely. Next up for me is Targhee. It's just a little bit more coarse than Rambouillet. It feels kind of similar, and I feel like it's an in-between for Rambouillet and for the one that is in my 3rd rank, which is Falkland. So Falkland is what I am spinning with right now, and actually that's what I learned to spin on. What's nice about Falkland is it has these really long fibers, so you get a lot of time to kind of draw it out of your hand, which almost makes it a little easier to spin in a way. It also stays attached so nicely, so it was the perfect fiber to begin on, but it's just not as soft as the other ones. Least favorite for me is actually Merino. The first time that I spun with Merino, I got so frustrated with it because it was just so slippery. The fibers are short. I don't know. It was just really hard for me to spin, especially after spinning these more like rusticy fibers like Falkland and Rambouillet. So I don't know. I don't not like it, and it was actually a lot more of a joy to spin this time around than the first time that I did it. So yeah, take those with a grain of salt because those are just my opinions and also just how I'm feeling after my first few spins of them. I'd love to hear what your favorite fibers are to spin. It's not going to be in this one, but I do have a bat of alpaca that I'm really excited to try. And it's so fun. I can understand why people like spinning and continue to spin because there's just so many different things to try. I am about to finish up my 2nd bobbin today, which means I have a few admin things to do. First up, I feel like I need a labeling system because I don't think I'm going to remember which bobbin came first, especially because I'm going to have so many because I can only fit 4 colors on each bobbin. So I was thinking I need to find some kind of tag or piece of paper that I can write like ply 1, bobbin 1, and kind of thread it through here so I can label it. And then I'll do the same one for this one, which I should finish up today. The other thing I thought to do is I have different colors of bobbins. So far I've tried to stick to blue for this first ply. I do have one more blue one, but as you can see, it's currently occupied by some yarn that has already been plied. So one of the things I need to do is take all of this yarn off and actually like wind it into a skein and finish it by soaking it, hanging it, and actually like winding it up into a ball of yarn. So hopefully I can get to that today. I also have more bobbins coming in the mail, but I don't know how many blue ones are going to be in the pack. I also have green, which I'm planning to use for my 2nd ply, just as a like easy identifier that that is something different. Eventually I'll also have to use these gray ones because again, I don't think I have 7 blue ones, which is how many I'm going to need, or 7 green ones, but it's a nice way to start. Couple of index cards, a hole punch, some spare yarn. This is looking pretty good. The yarn that I am skeining up right now is my very first spin aside from the tiny mini skein I made when I learned how to spin on my wheel. Because I don't have a niddy noddy or any other way to skein things at this point, I just used my Swift and spun it around with my hand. It actually worked out perfect. It is so fun to watch this back now a couple months down the road and just see how much I have already learned even just a few more months into spinning. Like for the fact that I now know it is not called a ply when you're spinning it, it is called a single. So if you have two singles together, that's a 2-ply yarn. After a couple days, I am back to working on this previous spin. I need to clear off this bobbin, even though I didn't use this bit of the single, so I am just winding it off into a cake. A niddy noddy is typically 2 yards, giving you 2-yard loops when you wind it into a skein. What I'm doing here is measuring my swift to see if I can do the same thing, and it turns out that I can as long as I put my pegs in the outside holes. Today is February 14th, and I have been looking forward to today for several reasons. One, it is Valentine's Day, of course. Wow, that is pretty. After I spend February 14th, I will be halfway done with all the colors. But remember, I'm not actually spinning the entire braid every single day, so that's what I'm gonna start doing today. I've had this plan since about the second day of opening everything, because I realized that the halfway point, of course, would fall on Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day this year is a Friday. And so I rearranged my week, my work week, so that I could take this afternoon off and really enjoy some spinning time. So I'm gonna spin February 14th, and then we'll talk about what else I'm gonna get up to today. All finished. Today's color is so pretty. So even though I'm not done with this bobbin yet, I'm still gonna add tomorrow's color to it. I'm taking it off because I am going to start spinning my second ply today. All of this is days 1 through 14 that I've already spun 1/2 of for the first ply. So I'm going to start again at 1, split that in half, and I'm going to spin that. So basically I'm going to be spinning a quarter of each of the full braids into the second ply. So I'm going to go days 1 through 28 eventually, and then I'll go days 28 back to 1. That's all on the second ply. And this is creating a fractal. I think I mentioned that before, but I've since had that confirmed by other spinners, so I feel a little more confident saying it at this point. So I'm really excited to go back through these, kind of look at the colors again, get to experience them again. I really do feel like after 2 weeks of spinning every single day, I already feel like a better spinner. It's a little more consistent. I'm a little more confident. I'm actually a little bit faster. So I have just a little hope that while I'm going to try to get through maybe 2 or 3 colors here this afternoon while I have a little extra time, I'm thinking that occasionally I can start to work through some of this in addition to the 1/2 ounce that I'm spinning every single day. I don't have any illusions that I'm going to finish spinning everything here in February. I'll need a little extra time, but I just want to get started on this so I don't have a whole other month-long project when I get done with the first half. And the best part about this is I've been saving this movie to rewatch for today. I've probably seen this movie at least 50 times, but I haven't seen it in years, so I'm really excited to watch it. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to get this fiber countdown in the first place, because it's a movie that I genuinely love so much. But looking at all of the names of the different things, not all of them are ringing a bell. So it's going to be great to watch this and then go back through all the colors. I have 2 more times I get to go back through all the colors. Actually, I was thinking, this will be great to start spinning the second ply because I can clean up this whole opened up package situation that's happening on the buffet here. But that's not entirely true because I still need to keep the other quarter of this. It's going to go at the later end of the ply. Like this is color 1. It's going to be the very first and the very last part of the second ply. So I have to hang on to this for a while, but I guess I could maybe repackage it but I feel like that's just wasteful. Like I could put it into little Ziplocs or something, but then I have 28 Ziplocs and I don't really need to do that. So I'm just gonna keep working with what I have. Maybe I can put it back into the larger plastic that it came in and just reuse that for now. Oh, this is gonna go so fast, or like feel so fast just spinning a quarter of this. And I gotta really pay attention to where I'm starting each of these because I want it to match what I did with the first one. Nothing too groundbreaking has been going on the past few days. I did finish up my first bobbin for the second ply, and I've been keeping up with my daily spinning as well. We are getting ready to go out of town for about 8 to 9 days. We actually don't really know because of weather if we're gonna leave tomorrow or if we're gonna leave the next day. So I need to get prepared today just in case we are leaving tomorrow. So I really want to bring my entire spinning project with me. My actual wheel is tiny, so that won't be a problem. What I'm trying to figure out is how much of the fiber and how many of the bobbins that I have already spun onto that I want to bring. Ideally, I would just bring everything, but I'm packing in a carry-on suitcase. However, if I am able to get all my toiletries and clothes into just one side of my suitcase, I think all the spinning and knitting projects that I want to bring will fit in the other side. So that's what I need to figure out today. I always hang on to Ziploc bags that I've used for previous yarny things so that I can reuse them for stuff like this. And I'm squeezing out as much air as possible to hopefully shrink down the space that these take up. I completely forgot that I would also need to bring the bobbins that I have if I want to finish this project while I'm there, so let's see if they fit in this space. The rest of these bobbins are flat pack, so I can just unscrew them and then they will be able to sit in here too. That actually went surprisingly well, provided I can fit my clothes and toiletries into that second half. I am also bringing a backpack, so it doesn't look like any of my other knitting projects are going to fit into the suitcase, but I'm not bringing that much on that end, so they should fit in my backpack as well as the actual spinning wheel I want to have in the backpack, because even though I'm carrying on my suitcase, there's a chance that it has to get checked, and I know that I can be as gentle as possible with my backpack. So this all comes apart. I can take the battery off. Actually, that would probably be fine in the suitcase. This all comes apart. I think actually I might put this bobbin into the suitcase as well. I think there was a space for it. Now, I was thinking about finding a plastic tub from the kitchen that this could all fit in, because even though it all comes apart pretty small, I feel like I don't want anything that's too like pressurized on these plastic bits. So having like some kind of hard container would be really great. I didn't see anything that wasn't going to be too small or way too big, so I'm still on the search for that. All in all though, I think problem solved and I'm ready to go, even if we end up leaving tomorrow morning, one day early, or if we end up leaving on Wednesday as planned. We made it to our friends Bree and Michael's, and I just finished up my 5th bobbin of the first ply. I'm really proud of myself because I traveled with this for the first time, like in a plane. So in a backpack where I had to put it in a bag. I've taken this out like with me in public before, where I've driven in a car and I've just set it down. But this was the first time I actually took it somewhere in a bag. And so I didn't find a container I could put it in to protect it, and I realized I really did need that. So I'm gonna be looking for that. I'm gonna go to the store, go to like Walmart or something and try to find like a plastic container that this can all go in so nothing gets bumped, because what happened when I got here is, I had to like readjust and reset everything, but it wasn't spinning anymore. Like it was spinning really, really slowly, even when I had the dial turned all the way up. So like this right here, I had turned like all the way to the max and it was still like spinning really, really slow. So I went to the Dreaming Robots website where this is from, and I looked at a couple of different, read a couple different things. It led me to a video talking about something with the motor here in the bottom and seeing if the motor was like connected to something. I can't remember what it's called, but turns out this little thing had probably gotten knocked just like being in my backpack and stuff. And so when I pressed on it like kind of hard, it clicked and popped in all of the way. I didn't realize it wasn't popped in all the way. And then it started working great again. So that was a big win yesterday, kind of problem solving my machine. I am down to my last 2 bobbins, and I can't remember what I've shared of the bobbin saga because I did order 9 more bobbins. And actually now that I'm counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I only have 8 here and I should have 9. So I must have lost one somewhere in Tennessee or like left it behind. I will have to look for that when I get back. But I did order more bobbins to Tennessee like 3 weeks ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, sorry. And something happened with them in the mail. They got shipped off really fast, but then they got lost somewhere. So I ordered another set of bobbins to be delivered here, and they should be here tomorrow. So I should have just enough free bobbins to fill up until that gets here tomorrow. Actually, I should have plenty because I can fit 4 days worth of a 1/2 ounce on here. And then I can start the second bobbin of my second ply, which I am doing in green, on this one. So I should be totally fine. So I'm just gonna get things switched out this morning and do a little spinning. It's been fun because Brianna has been spinning. We've been spinning together. I'm hoping to do a ton of spinning while I'm here. Like I just have this maybe too ambitious thought that I can just finish spinning everything up. I did dedicate half of my suitcase to bringing fiber, so it would be a shame for me not to do a ton of spinning while we're here. It's wild, but we are getting to the end of February, which means I'm getting to the end of my spinning, kind of. I still have a lot more spinning to do, but I only have 3 days left to open up the new colors. But then of course I'm having to go back around and do a second ply of everything since I'm only spinning a 1/2 ounce each day. So yesterday I sat down with my notebook and I kind of sketched out like how long I think it's going to take me to finish this. I don't want to lose the motivation that I have of kind of the practice of spinning every single day that I've been doing all throughout February. And I want to do as much as I can to try to get this project actually finished, plied, and made into yarn. So I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and plan this out and just kind of see how long it's going to take me. I also have the motivation of getting this video finished and coming out within a reasonable amount of time. So I kind of worked backwards from there. Like, okay, if I were to, get finished in order to share this in the middle of March, what would I have to do? So I kind of worked backwards and I gave myself 4 days for plying, plus an additional day to like skein and wash everything and let it dry with a little bit of buffer time, for editing and things like that. So that kind of led me to say, I want to finish up my spinning on March 3rd. So just a few days past February when I'm going to open up the last skein. So then I started writing out like, okay, I have started the second ply. I have 2 bobbins of the second ply at this point, which means I've only spun from days 1 through 16 the first time. And I just finished that up yesterday. So 1 through 16 for the first go. I still have to do 17 through 28 and then 1 through 28 one more time. So I kind of wrote all that out in different groupings. And here's what I figured out. So today is the 26th. So I'm going to I think this is 26. I will open the 26. I will spin the 1/2 ounce that I've been doing as my daily routine. And then I'm going to attempt to spin 6 more 1/4 ounces. So I've actually bagged everything up. So I think this is today's 6 1/4 ounces. And then tomorrow I'll do the same thing. Excuse me. I'll open up day 27 and then I will try to do 6 more 1/4 ounces. So obviously that's quite a bit more than I have been spinning from the past, past few days, but I think I should be able to do it. And then finally on the 28th, the last day of February, I am going to attempt to do a really big spin. It's a Friday, so I'm not going to have as much work going on. And so I will do my day 28 plus start the second go of the second ply. So days 1 through 8. Then the first few days of March, that's actually going to leave me with less spinning than I've been doing, at least these past few days. So I will essentially spin like a 1/4 of the second half of the second ply each day. So March 1st, days 9 through 16, March 2nd, days 17 through 24, and then that final day, I will have only 4 1/4 ounces to spin. So about a full ounce then, right? A full bobbin. So this is a lot of spinning. It's pretty ambitious, but last night I had to do a little catching up. I actually missed a day of spinning, and so I spun 2 1/2 ounces and 3 1/4 ounces. I can't like that math. So more than an ounce. I spun more than an ounce, and it took me a few hours, but I kind of did it throughout the day, and that all worked out really great. So what's been really cool about this project is I'm kind of learning my capacity for spinning, or like an expectation. I feel like I have that with knitting. Like I can sit down for an evening or like go to a movie or pack for a trip, and I can kind of go, okay, I'm going to need about this much knitting plus a little extra for my normal capacity. But I didn't really have that with spinning until this project. So now I know what I need to do. I'm also really glad I brought everything with me because I think I've used everything, especially if I'm going to reach tomorrow my first day 28 again. Actually, that won't work, will it? Because I won't open day 28 tomorrow because tomorrow is the 27th. So I'll work it all out. It'll make sense in the end. But I feel so motivated now that I have written all of this out and I'm like ready to go. So I am taking a little mid-morning break from work. I have a little extra time. So I'm going to go ahead and open up today, get started on today, even if I don't finish it until I need to get back into my next thing. This is also our last full day here in Pennsylvania. Tomorrow we don't leave until the afternoon, but I will hopefully be able to do a little spinning before we go. I guess I need to do all of my spinning before we go because I don't really anticipate me putting my wheel back together at the airport or anything. It's just a little bit too much, but who knows? Maybe I will. Today is a pretty momentous and exciting day because it is day 28. And last night, while we were at the airport, I finished up all of the second ply up to day 27 for the first go. I still have to go back and do like days 1 through 28 again. And yesterday before we left, I got caught up on doing all the first ply up to day 27, which means I have 2 bobbins here. I actually need to open this back up, and I apologize, it is already dark out. We got home pretty late last night, and so I slept in really, really late. And then my day got started late, and then now it's dark outside by the time I'm actually sitting down. I think it's only like 6 o'clock, but yeah, just after 6 o'clock. But what that means is I have these 2 bobbins both ready for day 28. This is the last 2 half ounces of the first ply. So day 28 will fit on here, no problem. Things got a little off. Like originally I thought I would have 7 bobbins per ply because each ply was 14 ounces. And wait, that doesn't make sense. I guess I was never correct on that. Why did I think that? Each ply is 14 ounces. Oh yes, and each bobbin can hold 2. So that would be 7 per ply. But that meant I would have to fit 4 colors on each ply. And sometimes because I wasn't weighing it, that didn't, 4 colors at a ½ ounce each. It wasn't always actually a ½ of an ounce, so it didn't always fit on there. So that's why I'm ending with a bobbin that only has 2 colors on it, which is totally fine. Now I have plenty of bobbins. And then this one has, it's my second ply, so it's got a ½ ounce of each color. This is, I think, days like 20 to 27. I think 28 will fit right here. And then I will be able to start the second half of ply 2. Ply 1 will be totally done tonight, which is crazy, on day 28. I'm so proud of myself. Like, this is so wild that I have done this much spinning. Actually, hold on. Just look at all of these bobbins. Isn't that wild? Like, that's so much more spinning than I've ever done before. And I've done it all in a month. I'm just so proud of myself. And I'm already thinking about, hey, next time I do a countdown, I think I know better about my capacity, and also I've like improved along the way. So I'm getting a little bit faster. It's getting a little bit easier. I think I will be finished with the spinning on Monday, which is just a few days from today. Tomorrow's actually, well, tomorrow's March 1st, of course, since today's February 28th. And so I think I should get the rest of this done in just a matter of a few days. All right, that's enough strategy talk. Let's open up our final color. This is pretty. This is really different than the other days. I don't think we've had this deep of a blue yet, almost like a reddish brown. Also, it's kind of hard to see because of the light. Does that help or make things worse? Wow, that makes things kind of worse. Sorry about that. This is called, what does it say? I meant every word. Day 28. Oh my gosh. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do the ½ ounce first, then do the ½ ounce, and then maybe take a little break, get some dinner, and then start back again with the first day. And the good thing is, I'm watching Love is Blind right now, and 3 new episodes just dropped, so I think that's going to keep me entertained for the rest of the night. I feel like just in the past couple of days, I've like unlocked a new level of spinning. It just feels easier and faster. I feel like I'm spinning more consistently, and I just thought I would like take a look and see if that was true. So this is my very first bobbin of this entire spin. First ply, first bobbin, and I think it looks pretty good. I mean, you can see there's some inconsistencies. It actually might not be spun like quite enough. I don't know. It's a little hard to see, but that's what it looks like. And then this is what I'm spinning right now. I'm actually on same color as this, like color 4, for the second time on the second ply. And I feel like actually it's way harder to tell on camera, but this looks to me in person much more consistent, much easier to do maybe slightly finer. And I can just tell I'm improving. More so, I can just feel that I'm improving. And that's really cool because I don't know. I don't know if it's just like all of a sudden I've hit like so many hours of spinning. I haven't really tried specifically to do anything to improve. Just over time, it feels like I'm improving. So last night I gathered up days 1 through 28, my last set of doing days 1 through 28. So these are each a 1/4 ounce of each color that I am doing for the second half of the second ply. My hope is I can get these done in the next like 4 days. So I'm trying to do days 1 through 8 today. And then tomorrow I'll try to do days 9 through 16. And then we will go from there. Days get a little busier after that because it is the weekend right now. But I am almost done with color number 4. But before I keep going on that, I am going to wind up my very first spin. You saw this not too long ago when I had finished plying it, but it was just sitting on the bobbins. And so I finally wound it into skeins. Then I took it with me, flew it all the way to Pennsylvania, and I finally washed it and it bloomed up. And so it looks so much more fluffy and pretty and everything after that. So these are actually 4 skeins. So each one of these is 2. Like this was before I realized I could really put a lot on these bobbins. And so I probably could have done this in fewer skeins, but that's okay. So I am going to get all these wound up. Brianna, who taught me how to spin, said that I need to start knitting with this before I begin plying on my current spin. And I'm hoping to ply in, just a few days after I finish spinning, which means I need to get this project started so that I can actually experience what things are like. She says you're going to learn a lot from knitting with your hand spun. So we've already looked at this yarn and actually got a lot of feedback from people on YouTube too, saying that it looks like it's maybe underplied. And then when Brianna and I looked at it together, she goes, I think it is underplied because it's underspun. So I think I just didn't quite spin, put enough twist in the like original plies. So when I plied it, I actually maybe did a pretty good job keeping it like balanced. So it's just a more underspun yarn. But she said I can still knit with it. It's just going to be a matter of preference on what I like. I mean, it feels really good and squishy and bouncy, and I'm just so freaking proud of it. So I want to get these wound up. I'm going to do that right now. And then I need to figure out, I have a good amount of yarn. So I think I don't have any issues like making a hat is what I'm planning to do. I want to make the Manhattan hat by Tori Yu. And I just don't know if I'm going to make the standard Manhattan hat, which is for worsted. I've actually knitted out a DK. Ooh, let me grab it actually. Okay, so this one is actually, I believe, the worsted weight version, but I used a skein of DK weight yarn and it's really cute, but the Manhattan Light is sport weight yarn. So I kind of just need to see, does this fall more into a sport weight or a DK? I think I can figure that out by wrapping it around a ruler and seeing how many wraps per inch that I get. And then of course I'll start knitting on it and kind of see if that feels good. So I'm hoping I can get this started tonight. We're going to dinner here in a couple of hours. So I'd like to have that started, cast on with a couple of rows knitted so I can just take it with me to dinner. It's a really easy hat because it's just nice, comfy ribbing. You may be wondering why a spinning project that was so close to being finished at the beginning of March has taken until July to actually post, and that's because right after the last clip, I just fell completely burnt out with spinning. It turns out you can't have too much of a good thing, so now we're going into May and I will let myself pick up from here. So, it has been a little while since I have worked on this project and filmed this video. So the last I saw you, I think, I was finishing up day 28. So I was doing my first ply or single. I've now learned they are called singles. So I was doing my first single. I'm doing a fractal spin, and I had started working on my second single. I'm making a 2-ply yarn, and I think that's where I stopped filming, at least for a little bit. And that was back at the beginning of March. And for the first couple of weeks of March, I was trying really, really hard to spin all of my second ply that I could, because I really wanted to finish this yarn and kind of like wrap up the project and have the whole thing, like the whole experience to show you. But as March went into April, I started to burn out a little bit on spinning and kind of fell off of my habit of spinning and took a big long break. And now it is May 8th or 9th or something like that. But I just finished spinning this last night, and I'm really excited to get to plying. Now, I am here at Brianna's house, which is really fun because this is her fiber. Also because she's the one who taught me how to spin. If you didn't see that video, you can watch that. This was back at the end of November when I first learned to spin. This is really my first big project that I'm doing. And she is not here for the weekend, which means she is not using her wheel. So she is letting me use at her house, her Hanson e-spinner, which I am so excited about. I don't think I'll be able to ply this whole thing. This is gonna make about 7 skeins of yarn, but I hope to get at least a little bit of it plied. And the benefit of this, you saw how many bobbins I have. I think I have 17 tiny little bobbins, which will then be 17 more little tiny bobbins and little tiny skeins, because these only hold 2 ounces. It's totally fine because it's such a great spinner to bring around with me. But this one holds, I think, like 8. Oh, that will be so much better. So I've got both of my first 2 bobbins here, and I'm starting at the end. So like this is the 9th bobbin of ply 2, 8th bobbin of ply 1. They didn't end up being the same because I ended up with a bunch of extra bobbins. But I'm starting at the end, and they won't be perfectly even, but that's okay. Okay, I'm just gonna set this here on the floor. Now let's see if I can do it. Ah! Nope. It's safe to say this has way more uptake than my wheel. I've turned it way down, so let's try again. We're on now, so I'm gonna turn the twist up. Oh my God, this is gonna make things so much faster. Oh, also she has a woolly winder, which means it's moving the yarn back and forth as it's going onto the bobbin. So I don't have to like stop at all. I kind of want to get all this done this weekend. This is not going well. So it's going to look like no time has passed at all because I'm still here at Brianna's house, but in reality, it has been 5 weeks. I think maybe my hair is longer, things are different, I don't know. It has been way too hard for me to get my spinning wheel out in the van. We've just been going, and therefore I have done absolutely nothing to make any forward progress on plying. However, we are now staying with friends for an extended period of time because our van is in the shop and it needs a new transmission. So I thought, let's spin this into something positive, literally. And I'm gonna try to finally finish this freaking spin. So when I left here in PA 5 weeks ago, I believe I had these 2 bobbins done or close to it. Now that we've been here for a couple of days, I have not just 3, not just 4, but 6 bobbins all done, and I'm already plying a 7th one. And this is what I have left to ply. I just counted and there are 9 bobbins in here. So 1 bobbin of a single doesn't necessarily equal 1 bobbin plied because I am not packing those quite as tight. So I would say I probably have anywhere from 10 to 14 more bobbins to spin or to ply. And I've been doing about 2 bobbins per day without too much effort, which would mean I could potentially finish this within another week. I'm sure as I get closer to it, I'm gonna get like even more excited about it. So no more pressure on myself to like do anything in any particular time. I'm just gonna try to do my 2 bobbins per day, and I'll show you some of that. I've got the plying going now on my own spinning wheel, which is going so much better. I think I'm getting more used to it. It's getting a little faster. So for now, I'm just gonna carry on like that. And I'll check back in when I start to wind off the bobbins and start to make some skeins. Hopefully I can get everything like actually done and finished so I don't have a giant thing of bobbins when we start traveling again. I think it's safe to say I have plenty of bobbins to get started winding them into skeins. And I think that's going to be a nice kind of break in the plying. So at this point I have 11 bobbins of plied yarn. They've all rested. I haven't done any today. So they're all good in theory to skein up. And I have 7 left to ply in this bag, full bobbins, plus these 2 that are like halfway and 3/4 of the way. So my best estimate for how many bobbins I'm gonna end up with in the end is 20 to like 24, which I'm trying to figure out how many bobbins do I want to be in a skein. And I think I'm landing on 6. The reason I need to know this is because I will start at the end of each skein. So if I'm doing 6 bobbins in a skein, I will start at 6 and then work my way back to 1 in order to keep them in order, because the end of this one goes to the beginning of this one, because this is 2 and this is 3. Yeah. So I'll have to start here at the end, wind it to the middle, because the middle of this one connects to the end of this one, if that makes sense. And in between each bobbin, I'm hoping to spit splice them together so that they're connected and they're a continuous bobbin. So I'll end up with like these pretty big skeins is my hope. That's the plan at least. So yeah, I think 6 makes the most sense because I think I'm gonna end up with more than 20 bobbins in the end. It doesn't really matter because they can all be connected. Obviously, whatever I end up making, I may have to be breaking at different points in the skein. The other thing that I've thought about is how am I gonna keep track of 1, which skein is the first one, second one, third one, and 2, which end of the skein is the beginning, which end of the skein is the end. And shout out to MC, Blame the Knots, who taught me this trick. What she does is she will tie 1 knot at the end of, or I guess at the beginning rather, of the first skein, and then 2 knots at the end of the first skein, 3 knots at the beginning of the second skein, 4 knots at the end of the second skein. So basically, you know, your first skein has 1 knot, and then when you go to connect it to the next one, you look for 2 and 3 to go together, then 4 and 5 to go together. So yeah, that's a great idea. Or what I could also do is just tie 1 knot and 2 knots on each of them and like label the skeins, which is what I might do, because then I don't want to be fussing with untying like 6 knots at the end of this. Basically just to identify the beginning and the end. So actually, I feel like I can't label them when I'm washing them. So unless I wash them one at a time, that's not gonna be a problem for today, because I think I'm just gonna skein 1 thing today, or maybe not even all of it. I feel like this is gonna take me a while. I was gonna use Brianna's Nitty Knotty, but she needs it because she just finished plying something. So I am gonna use my super cool Nitty Knotty that is from Katrinkles that I got. I think I got this at Nash Yarn Fest. So it breaks down like this, which is perfect for travel or small spaces. And then if you need just a small 1 yard, you just put these 2 pieces together like this. But I want to make regular 2 yard skeins. So I am just going to put together, hasn't really been used yet, so got to use a little more force. I put these 2 center pieces, there we go, together, and then this guy on the end. And now I have a regular old nitty knotty, which is pretty cool. And then once I get it going, I feel like I have no problem. Well, that's not good. Maybe I need to push those together a little more. My only concern, well, I guess is that this is not super big. So I don't know how much yarn this is gonna hold. Like compare it to this, right? That's pretty small. So I don't know, maybe I should go for this one and just try to get it done before Brianna gets home. I guess worst case, I could stop where I'm at and just pull it off of here. So maybe I will do that because this is a little bit small. I didn't think about that. Anyway, I'm at a good stopping point because I don't have anything on my spinning wheel right now. These guys are just chilling. So I think it'll be easy for me to just add ply number 1 onto my DIY Lazy Kate here. And, oh, not 1. Don't do that, Natalie. My gosh. Ply number 6 onto my Lazy Kate and start a-going. That was actually way faster than I thought it was gonna be. It only took me about 4 minutes, 4 minutes to do. I mean, it's not huge, but look how pretty it is. And happily, I am ending with pink, and bobbin number 5 is going to start with pink, which means I'm doing this right. So I'm gonna figure out here how to get disconnected, get my next bobbin set up, and then attempt to spit splice these together and just go, go, go. Oh my gosh, it's yarn. It's like a proper skein of yarn. Now see how it's twisting like that? I don't know if I should have like started closer into the center and then made my way out, but in order to get things on here, I ended up with like a twist on both sides. I'll probably ask Brianna, see what I'm supposed to do. Oh, you know what? I should probably take my first end and make a tie. I made some ties with some waste yarn on here, and then I tied off my first. Oh, that's probably where I should make the knots. Maybe? That's actually probably where I should make the knots. Oh well, it doesn't matter. I've got 2 knots on the one end. Oh, that's no good. I got a lot to learn still, but I got 2 knots on the second end, 1 knot on the first end. Let's see if this will actually come off of here. I'm a little nervous. Oh, so easily. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is not as big of a skein as I thought it was gonna be, but still pretty big, still pretty chunky. Oh my gosh, I made yarn. Let's put it in a skein. That's pretty cool. Of course, I still need to soak this and let it dry, but I'll probably do that at the end when I'm done with everything. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. This is pretty cool. I made yarn. I have a little surprise. I am back trying to spin on Brianna's wheel. She was here last night and was able to help me with the plying because there is a learning curve definitely to working on a more powerful, larger machine. But I think
even though this is not as consistent as my other one, I feel like it's still worth it. I was actually having some issues with my spinning wheel. I wasn't able to get enough spin on my last couple bobbins, even though I had the spin turned all the way up. So I tried a few things, wasn't really working. And Brianna's like, why don't you just try plying on here? It'll be faster. It'll be continuous. So that's what I've been doing. It's looking pretty good. I'm definitely getting better at it, getting a better understanding of it. Oh my gosh, look how cool it is to kind of see the color develop. And I just put a new bobbin here. This one is about to run out. And then all I have left are these 4 guys. We are leaving here tomorrow to go visit our friends in New Jersey. So it'd be so nice if I can actually get this finished plying today. And then we're coming back. So I'll be able to come back and skein everything and wash it and hang it. So I'm just gonna do my best in between work today to get as much plying done as possible. I have been an absolute spinning fiend today. I finished this gigantic bobbin, which looks so cool, being able to see the spiral. And then I was like, well, I'm so close. Let me just ply up everything else. And I have this one, which is probably about 4 ounces. I thought maybe this was gonna fit on there at some point. Anyway, it did not. And I'm done plying. Is that not crazy? I do have a little bit of my singles left. Didn't even get into the first of the second ply or second single, and I have just a little bit left on here. So I probably have about 2 to 2.5 ounces of unevenness in my 2 plies and my 2 singles. So that's just a lesson for next time if I'm doing a really big spin, especially that weighing things as I was splitting those different little brays would have been, or bumps, I guess you could call them, would have been helpful to get things more even. But I have so much stinking yarn. I've already been skeining up my second big skein, and we are still leaving tomorrow. So I don't think it makes any sense to take these things with me. So I'm gonna let these guys rest for about a week. And when I come back here, I'll skein those up. I'll probably end up making this one a little bit smaller and combining it with the last one. And I'll be able to soak everything and let it dry and take it with me. It's not hitting me yet that I'm really almost done with this. But it feels really good that I know going into my next visit with friends, I'm just gonna be working on my regular projects, and I don't have a current spinning project going, and I'm not gonna start a new one until this one is totally done. I have just finished skeining everything up. I cannot believe it. Months of work. Let's see. February, March, April, May, June. Today is July 1st. That's actually kind of nice and well-rounded because then it took me, wait, hold on. February, March, April, May, June. Exactly 5 months to make this yarn. Oh my goodness. I hope the next time that I do a countdown or a sweaters quantity or something, it doesn't take quite this long. So I'm really shocked by how cohesive everything looks, especially with there being 28 different colors in there. So my next step, my final step, is I need to wash these and let them dry. And I'm even thinking about, before I leave Brianna's house here in Pennsylvania, maybe I will go ahead and cake these up. I definitely don't have the ability to do that while we are on the road. and then I can start my sweater with these. I cannot believe it, but I am done with my first sweater spin. Only took me a few months. I learned a lot. It's not perfect for sure. I can definitely see in some of the skeins where things are looser, but actually when I washed it, or I don't know if you call it blocking, but it got so much better. So I think this is gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be usable. I have been debating for the past couple days as it's been drying, if I should go ahead and cake it up before I leave here. So that way when I'm ready, I can go ahead and start my project with this. But I've decided we're only gonna be on the road for about 4 to 5 weeks until I'm staying with a friend again. I have plenty of projects to do in the meantime, so I'm gonna hold off, keep the skeins like this, keep them safe, and when I get to that friend's house in about a month, skein it up and cake it up, I guess, and start that project. Kind of feels right that this project has started here, it got dyed here at this house, and now it is in its final stages before it becomes an actual knitting project right here. And I just feel like that feels really special. So thanks for sticking around for this really long journey. And we'll have to see. It's starting, like Tour de Fleece starts, I think this week, or has just started this week as this is coming out. So I'm ready to get into my next spin, but we'll see how it goes from the road. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.